perhaps it's just because, you know, he's quite a high-profile streamer, and when you are, some people are just going to show up to troll you. But there seems to be a perception that RDU like hasn't performed that well in tournaments. Like, he's one of the most successful competitive players in Hearthstone history.
For the longest time.
Yeah, for a prolonged period of time, like all the way through the invitational system that we had early on, through to the open system that we then progressed to. And like, nice to see us joining in the proceeds of the aggro mage that he's brought. One of the big reasons why I did want to pick him as my choice, but TJ sniped him away, so I went for a very similar lineup with another great player, Sintalol, instead. But you see straight away RDU just firing off a risky arcane missile to take care of that Pyromancer. Gets the big payout straight away. And one of the unique twists that RDU has in his deck is that Flame. How are we pronouncing this now? It's Geyser. It's Geyser. I don't know why Darroch insists on calling it Geyser. Like, that's just not how...
thinks it's a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
It's a bit dodgy, but just to give just to round up the matchup so far, we have Dovin kind of in the middle. It is, of course, RDU versus ThunderUP. RDU had his... Oh, I'm not sure what was banned. Okay, never mind. He took a win with his... We can work this out. He took a win with his Warlock over the Druid of ThunderUP. Then he lost with his Mage versus ThunderUp's Druid again. So this is game number 2 for his Mage at this point in the series. He's already took 1 loss to Druid, which can be difficult with the sheer volume of armor gain they have available to them, but we'll see if he's got his job against the Shaman now.
Yeah, and I will finish up my point beyond how the name of the card is pronounced, but Flame Geyser is a very nice card for synergizing with Stargazer Luna, because it's a card that's cheap to cast that puts a card generated onto the right-hand side of your hand, where it puts the Flame Elemental. It's the same as Primordial Glyph, right? It's a cheap card to play, you then get another cheap card that goes onto the right-hand side of your hand. So it's something that just has come in to the deck recently. People first tested it because of that synergy, but RDU reported that when he tested it in his testing for this tournament, it performed very similarly to Frostbolt across the board. And he was just surprised. Feels like the card has perhaps been overlooked for quite some time. And there you go. There's exactly the interaction that I was talking about. Coins it out, and there is a Flame Elemental on the right-hand side of his hand, just for him to happily pop out onto the board alongside that Luna and draw an additional card.
Okay, I have a question for you, because I genuinely just don't know. If they're both on the... If Geyser's on the far side and draws a card, is the Elemental on the right, or is the drawn card on the right?
I believe the card gets drawn first, and
then the Elemental
goes.
Okay,
I think that's how it
So
works.
you've always got a nice one drop to slip in. Okay.
Yeah, same with Glyph.
Yep, okay. Just checking. It's something I genuinely just haven't... Because I've not played Flame Geyser in that aggro mage before. Something I've not actually found myself dealing with on ladder at the moment. But so far, RDU's nailing on the pressure, to be quite honest.
We have a plan.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage in RDU's hand. ThunderUP already hovering that healing rain because he frankly does not have...
No, ThunderUP, take all of these greedy thoughts, shove them away in the dark corner of your brain, and then cast this healing rain.
Yes. It would be glorious for ThunderUP to go all the way back up to full, but the thing he needs to realize, and I'm sure he will do, of course, is healing rain this turn into Hagatha next turn. One deals with any minion pressure that's left, maybe from RDU, because it kills, I think, every minion except for Luna in the deck. And also, it gains you another 5 armor, so... Unfortunate, of course, because the overload, but this is, in fact, the play, and now RDU is just going to continue with the pressure, because, frankly, there's not much else to do.
Right.
Thinking about shooting Star now, just to get 1 extra damage to face.
It's hard to push 1. Yeah, I don't like it. I think probably still a little bit more utility out of that, potentially. If you pick up Alaneth, if you pick up Cosmic Anomaly, you can switch back to a more board-based game plan using that shooting Star if need be.
Yeah, and I think although every point of damage is important in a deck like Aggro Mage, of course, I don't think right now it's that important, because you've still got plenty more cards to go together. Oh, it's not playing? I didn't even see what that was.
Someday I'll be just like you!
This is all of a sudden not looking great for the hero of the Romanian people.
So Chain Gang going to be able to lock this out, and also there's just all of these potential outs that Hagatha just summons, basically. I mean, you get healing range, you get damage spells to just deal with the minions, or, you know, in the other way, actually just kill your opponent off. They can't kill you if they're dead first. There's just a lot of options available. That's a good one, though. That's going to help.
There is. Just as I said, that kind of just immediately takes the board back for RDU now. because he held on to that shooting star.
She's 8? 9 if he pings?
There must be a way.
I wonder... Do you forgo the ping to lock in +2 from Frostball?
Science overwhelming.
Do you need it? Let's count. So if you fireball and you push 8, then you put your opponent down to 12, and then the extra fireball.
Oh, pinging the 2-1.
Exactly. The extra frostbolt doesn't really set you up for anything in particular. So the ping can potentially be 3 damage by pinging off the 2-1. Sometimes your Sorcerer's Apprentice lives, right? So that works out as more damage than the 2 extra you can gain from the frostbolt.
ThunderUP, would you like a kind of Reno Jackson? Yes. Yes, he would.
I am quite interested in this proposal of yours, yeah. The second one only heals for 6 right now, though.
Lightning can strike twice.
Wait.
What?
Call me crazy. Could you Volcano that turn and just farsighted? He was on what, 10?
I was also wondering whether you just like Electra the Farsight as your double spell and then just cast Healing Rain once, but then you don't have enough mana remaining to answer the board state.
I don't think there were 2 cards that kill him, were they?
No, I don't think so.
So I think he could have actually been a little bit greedy there.
Right. I mean, we're very much splitting hairs in this position. Yes. Like, you know, he made the play that healed him to 30 when his opponent was near as makes no difference out of cards. It seems like a winning line when you really break it down.
Sometimes all we've got is splitting hairs, so
it's true.
My jaws that bite, my claws that catch.
Infamous phrase.
My jaws that bite, my claws that catch.
Just using it for the Hagatha battle cry and to dominate the board, essentially.
Well done.
And yep, Radu recognizes that he scoops to that. There's no way he's coming back from that board position.
This aggro mage, that, you know, a few of the players have been sort of testing out so far in this tournament, and we'll see if he can make it work. But for now, he's switched over to his Odd Rogue, and he's going to be playing against this even lock. How does this matchup look up for you there, Son?
I mean, Odd Rogue is very stable in the style of removal and minion pressure that even Warlock tries to output. They're not as weak to Defile as, say, an Odd Paladin or a Token Druid would be in how their board states are laid out. And they don't just kind of instantly lose the game to like a Taunted Mountain Giant or a Hooked Reaver in the late game coming down, because they have those Vile Spine options to be able to deal with that. So they're one of the better aggro decks at dealing with even lock, especially when you add like some of the real nut draws that they have available, like, you know, Argent Squire Cold Blood, for example, just pushes so much damage in the early game. And you know, the net combination of all of those things quite often leaves them with a pretty favorable win rate.
Yeah, even the card we've just seen, Vicious Fledgling now, can just be an absolute nightmare if the Warlock does not have a card that can deal with it. And you can see, again, the power of just using that coin to get it out before Hellfire is available for ThunderUP. And this, on paper, can connect to face because RDU has a weapon plus the poison in hand.
Yes.
So he can actually guarantee a kill on this 2-4 and then be able to connect face with this flappy bird.
ThunderUP just wondering about the implications of poking this Argent Squire or not. He leaves himself open to like uncomboed Cold Blood would allow then the Vicious Fledgling to connect to face. It's about the only difference that I can think of in terms of hitting off the Divine Shield. As of course, if there's an activated Cold Blood being used to push through the Vicious Fledgling to face, you'd much rather that Divine Shield wasn't there, plus various other things that have little effect, and so just when it all boils down, it's better to have taken the shield off.
Yeah, ThunderUP does have a buffed Spellstone because of that Homunculus.
Yeah.
Probably the thing that pushes this card over the edge, I would say, in terms of how powerful it is. A 2-4 for 2 taunt. Nice. 2 damage. Nice. Activate Spellstone. Okay, I'm in. You know, like that's the selling point for me.
2 mana, 2-4 taunt. You're like, okay, all right.
See, it's a demon.
Yeah, right. Okay. How about this? It also deals damage to you. You're like, oh, great, that makes it better. Like, that's the weird world of Warlock that we live in.
And anyone who's not played Hearthstone or not played much Hearthstone, sit there and go,
huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it is a benefit, of course, and the Spellstone being buffed is absolutely huge. ThunderUP can take down this, the 3-6. Even though it is a 3-6, if the 2-3 is dealt with.
Yeah, and that Sunfury play was a very important one from ThunderUP on the previous turn. It wasn't being played to taunt anything. Obviously, the Homunculus already had taunt. It was just about dealing with specific outcomes like plus health and Divine Shield coming out from the Vicious Fledgling here.
Yep, I know.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Howdy. Howdy. Howdy.
You are an annoyer module.
Yep. You got magnetic.
Just trying to work out the meta implications of that statement.
Okay. We've got no time for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, the correct response is meta implications can wait, but thanks for playing.
Okay, so RDU's just going again.
Yeah,
They're saying, right, okay, well, you know, let's see if you've got Hellfire this time. The Ooze is actually pretty nice overall in this matchup. Much nicer to play on 2 if your opponent daggers on 2. It's just a hard lockout of almost everything they want to do on turn 3.
The Doomsayer.
So that is a big deal because there are not really any answers available for this Doomsayer, or nice answers.
Yeah, there aren't answers that involve the Vicious Fledgling also hitting face.
But still, you know, 5-5 and a 3-3 on the board with the 2-2 of the Fungomancer itself.
Yeah.
I'd probably take it.
Sure.
It's better than letting the Doomsayer go off and saying, Warlock, enjoy your initiative.
Right.
So many options.
Also, I feel like Giggling Inventor is such a much more difficult card to play against Warlock, purely because Defile becomes, you just give them a Defile proc straight away. So it's not a card you can normally just slam down, as you can in most matchups. You need to actually give a pretty good amount of thought to it.
ThunderUP operating just directly off the right-hand side of his hand right now. He has Stargazer Luna in Warlock currently.
Yeah.
Just taps into the Doomsayer last turn, taps into the Hellfire this turn in 2 situations where he was basically dead if he didn't find answers.
Yeah, and now looking at RDU's hand, that might just be enough at this point for ThunderUP. He might have just got the job done right now, because the rest of his hand just doesn't do that. Yeah, you know, Giggling, great card, doesn't really pile on the pressure, so it'd have to be Giggling into Fungomancer, presuming that none of Giggling gets dealt with. Even that is quite slow, and you see Blood Knight happening with the Argent Squire just to put a threat on the board. But we can see ThunderUP even just has tap into Hooked Reaver as a decent response, but also the double Shroom Brewers that he can slot in whenever desired for that extra either heal to a Taunt minion or heal to himself, as well as a body that kills most things a rogue can play.
Yep. Doomsayer going down behind this Reaver. Yep, would expect to see this. Doomsayer number 2 again, just flying out of the right-hand side of ThunderUP's hand. But yeah, I do like the play from RDU. As you mentioned, the hand was lacking just a bit of explosivity, I guess, short of... If you ever wanted a 1-second clip that explained the Raven Sottle casting dynamic, there you have it. So RDU recognized the most aggressive thing he could do was just to Blood Knight his own Argent Squire, which, you know, you're not going to be needing Blood Knight for your opponent's Giggling Inventors in even lock. You know, I'm pretty sure you guys at home can work that one out.
Mm-hmm. What?
Nothing.
Indeed. From RDU here, I don't... This is the problem. It's difficult to even formulate a particularly good 2-turn plan.
Right.
With this hand, never mind this turn.
Well, I mean, the problem is, turn 1 of that 2-turn plan is let this Doomsayer go off and see what my opponent does, right? Like, your second turn planning depends on what ThunderUP chooses to develop after this Doomsayer.
I don't think anything's a particularly great answer to anything that ThunderUP can play. If ThunderUP plays a minion this turn that is better than the Sunfury Protector, RDU's answer isn't great.
Yeah. Yeah, and Radu he just needed a Vile Spine there off the top.
Yeah.
It's no great insight to add on top of that. He just can't contest this Lich King. He needed to be able to snipe it out, and that would at least allow him to swing the board back one more time, try and rebuild from scratch with a Hooked Reaver down, a Hellfire down, 2 Doomsayers down. He might have the freedom of the town from that point to just develop and try and push, but no answer for this Lich King. Means that RDU might be facing his 2nd defeat of the tournament here. It's actually a very crucial win for ThunderUP to pick up, because actually looking over there at the side, he's been paired down. You do not want to be losing paired down matchups.
Yeah, and especially when you pair down against RDU. That's just you've really not won the dice roll there, have you? This is about as strong a board as RDU could manage here. Did gain the Kobold Librarian, so at least he has some card draw, which is what Odrogue often lacks.
Speaking of, RDU actually does not play Myras in his list from what I understand. I don't actually have the list in front of me currently, but I remember him talking about it and saying that, again, when he tested with Nyria, with Tom, and with Tice,
yep.
you know, his G2 teammates plus Tom, a fellow Romanian player, basically, and just didn't find situations that they thought Myras was good in, which surprised me, because I think
go back and watch that last match.
I think it's one of the strongest cards in the deck, personally.
Yeah, I haven't really played too much Odrogue recently. I've been exploring some of the other decks because Odrogue
who can blame you, Raven?
It is in a very similar position as it was last time.
Yeah.
But I will say I am interested to just try that one card because the things you win games you shouldn't be allowed to win as Odrogue as an archetype, right?
Yeah, I brought this up and I was trying to reassure Darroch with it backstage. You know, Darroch has picked Hoy as his prediction and he was watching Odrogue seemingly losing to Zoo, and I kept trying to reassure him. Like, no, he's just going to play Myras and win. Myras has a 100% win rate against Zoo, I'm telling you. And then as late as it came, he just needed to find that Giggling Inventor and it was still enough just to
I think
out the game.
It was 8 cards that was drawn because 2 was already in hand.
Yeah, it was about a 50-50
so,
to
yeah,
hit.
and if you just say to someone, look, you can draw 8 cards this turn, still have
I'm interested.
mana.
Tell me more.
You could still have mana.
Okay.
But that's your lot. I'd be like, I'd take that every day of the week. Like,
Yep.
8 card draw? Because you're so often in a situation. Like, this is a weird hand size for Rogue right now.
Yes.
It's weird to be at turn 9 and have this many cards. You're normally on 2 maximum.
Right.
So you're normally looking at probably on average 8 to 7 cards from Myras if you play it turn 10. And I think RDU is grasping at straws at this point. Those straws are pretty flimsy.
Not pleasant.
Yeah.
Well, question 1 for ThunderUP. Does he need to defile this board? Because he does have 2 4/4s in play that he doesn't really want dying to said defile.
He can just... Can he Dread Inferno? Is that safe enough?
Probably can, yeah.
Pop the shields with Dread
Hit
Inferno?
the shields, Dread Inferno. Some Fury Protector. Maybe. I think he has such a powerful reset, though, that he doesn't need to worry about it too much, right? Like, he knows that there aren't Vile Spines hanging around based on the last few turns. It would have to be, like, one of the 2 far-right cards from RDU to really be Vile Spine Slayer. Like, there it is. So I think ThunderUP, just recognizing how powerful his refill was there, was just happy to take the full board reset and not run any risks because, you know, it's nice and easy for us to be suggesting cute plays, but ThunderUP is staring at some cards that just haven't been played for multiple turns and thinking, why take any risk of being dead to, like, Leroy Coldblood or anything?
Also, ThunderUP is almost certainly staring at a top 8 cut performance if he gets this win. Going 5-0 often gets you there, even if you lose your next 2. There's still just a small question mark. Maybe it's bigger than I think, but well, you can Hellfire trade.
Yeah.
Puts you on pretty low health, and your opponent's hero power alone does 2 a turn.
It does.
And there isn't taunts at the moment. And there isn't heal at the moment.
Right.
So Thunder, although it's been looking pretty good all game, he's nowhere near out the woods right now. Look at him just hover that Army of the Dead.
It's about to approach the subject of, like, how long do you wait before you get in a position where you just have to rip Army of the Dead?
Well, my question is, do you then just Hellfire first?
Yes.
Because there's no Army of the Dead that fixes this board.
No,
so Hellfire clear, Army of the Dead go.
But the idea is just to, like, try and set up lethal for yourself, right? Like, that's the game.
Well, you have 5 from hand, Frostmark.
Exactly.
Also, there's a Homunculus there, which is a nice, like, little taunt in the way.
See anything more useful. Dread Infernal doesn't help set up lethal, which is the most aggressive play you can make otherwise.
And only damages you more.
I think, you know, the way ThunderUP has played the last couple of turns, I think he's respecting that Fungal Mancer as Leroy.
Okay.
So, yes, that's exactly the kind of play he's looking for, because in ThunderUp's head, like I said, I think has a read on that Fungal Mancer as, you know, so at least like 50-50 is Leroy, potentially. So he's not only looking to set up lethal for himself, he also wants to put that taunt in the way to play around that card there, which Sight Unseen, he has every right to assume might have been Leroy.
Yeah, and only discarding 1 spell and getting 4 minions means this backhand from him is actually going to be pretty hefty.
And with the Frostmourne on top of the 14 damage that he has in play, that is going to be a second defeat now for RDU and a 5th victory and a clean sweep so far for ThunderUP, picking up a huge name, a massive scalp to go for his record and dodging a bullet.